What's up, YouTube? We are back, and today we are starting on the 47 Ford project. It's going to be a pretty good day. Beautiful weather today, a little rainy this evening, but it shouldn't affect us at all today. This Ford, we've been really excited about it. We're going to vlog the whole thing, so basically we're going to try to show you every single step of the way. It's not really a frame off. It's basically just a paint job. It's been restored about 5 or 6 years ago, but she just wasn't happy with the paint. So we're gonna try to strip it down, make sure all the bare bones, you know, the stuff is good, the metal works good, and this and that, and then we're gonna go ahead and give her some fresh paint. So let's go check it out. All right, guys. We've got her a little cleaned up in here. There's the Marrow. She's looking bad. Back there's the LS too. It's getting ready, waiting on a few parts. Oh, anyway, let's go check this out. See if Lou's got her fired up. Battery's dead, so we might, oh! It ain't dead no more. We got fire. All right, guys, I'm gonna take this charger off of here and we'll be back. All right, we got her running. Hopefully you can keep it that way. It sounded funny in this paint booth. It sounded real funny. Sounds pretty good. All right, guys, so just a quick glance over it. We kind of knew some of these issues, but you know, we have found a few more. But so these door gaps, we're pretty big on gaps. We try to do our best to make them look good. So you can tell that it's perfect, and then down here it widens out real big, and that's just simply because over here it's almost touching. And so we found the culprit. If you open the door, you can watch the hinge move actually in the door there, and it shouldn't. I don't know if you guys can see that real well. That shouldn't be moving there. So we've got to do a little bit of work around here. You can see they've already done some filler work, looks like, and it's busting out and the hinge is busted back. So we're gonna have to try to address that. It should have some like rivet style things in it here. It's what should be there, but the bottoms are gone. So they've obviously done something there. We're gonna have to address that. We've got a little crack here in the body. This looks like they've done a little repair to it, but it's kind of split back. So just some little, it's just rough around the edges. So that's what we're gonna do, is take care of all that stuff, make it look a little bit more presentable, a little better. It's a solid truck and it's definitely worth saving. There was an issue with the hood latch. We only worked on that for about 5 seconds. We found that this lever here was just completely bent to the side. I put it all back how it should be, and now it's all seems to be catching and working right. So that was an easy fix. This is all stuff that we have to address and fix. So this is like our pre-tear down. We're going around. We have to know everything we have to fix before we actually get there. So all this stuff is going to be powder coated black. So we wrote on it. there's some holes that have bolts broke off, so we're gonna drill and tap all these, you know, anything we find like that. So we'll take tape and we'll actually mark it, and so later on, once we pull it apart, we don't forget that. We'll mark that, drill it, tap it out. A lot of these, when they put it back together, they just use some cheap junky bolts. They didn't save the OEM style bolts, so we're gonna do something a little different for this and try to make that look a little more presentable. The other side, this side door hinges, the gaps are not perfect, so I'm not sure if they've done some work. They're not terrible, I'm not gonna say they're, but here it's a little close at the front. So if you can look down there, a little tight. So we got some adjusting to do on that as well. That hinge moves too. So we definitely got some work to do on that one too. Can't have that. We don't want it done and then it's coming back because the paint's rubbing off the corners because the doors weren't fixed right. So there's a few other little issues we've seen. Some bad patches right here. I don't want to call it bad, I guess it's still there, but definitely don't look appropriate. So we might have a little bit of fixing to do there, but everything else is pretty clean. Frame's really solid. You know, so everything's clean and nice and new. Like I said, it was done a few years ago, so it ain't, it's just rough around the edges. They didn't undercoat anything, didn't clean, you know, clean and undercoat. I'm not sure what those self-tappers are there for. We might have to get rid of those. Oh, that's holding the fender on. Okay. Well, we'll figure that out. So yeah, today pre-tear down. This is the 47 Ford vlog. If you guys are enjoying it, make sure you hit that like, share, subscribe button, all of them, any of them. If you do hit the sub, don't forget to hit the bell so you get the notifications on this. We're gonna start tearing it down here shortly, start pulling. We'll probably honestly pull the fenders off the bed, pull the bed off, pull the side steps off. We're gonna pull it all the way down to where you guys will see just a cab on the frame and everything else will be off. So we'll still have a movable vehicle. And like I said, everything else is not getting restored. This truck is fairly clean. She's happy with it other than the paint. Another issue we just seen, well, forgot to mention. So this is a custom grill. I don't know if you, like on these 47s, they've got, the grills are shaped a little bit different. They got like bars across here, kind of a weird look, but so they've cut this out and refabricated it and put that in there. And I like it. It looks okay. I like it better than the factory grill, to be honest, for these. But yeah, so what we're gonna do now, I guess, is, like I said, fix what's rough around the edges, figure out why that's rotted back out, strip that stuff, redo that, and then we're gonna put a good coat of epoxy on it when we're done. So I'm a firm believer in epoxy. It's the longevity of the paint, you know, on these old vehicles. Now on new things, you know, new vehicles, that's not a necessity. You can 2K prime it, paint it, and move right on. But these old things, epoxy them and it'll save it. You won't have to be redoing it again in 5 years like this one. So you might get 7 years out of it. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so here in a little bit, we'll start wrenching on her. We'll be back. All right, guys, first thing, we're taking this tailgate off. We've got a new one over there. We're gonna test fit new hinges. This one was dropped or something by the last shop. She said it was in good shape before it went over there, but if you look at it, it's actually bowed in the middle. And you can see where they've done some body work on the top rail, and it just not very good. So it don't shut right, don't align right. So we picked up a new one. It's actually a original like Ford style. It looks identical. So come from Ford. So we're gonna test fit this sucker real quick, and this is part of disassembly. Like I said, we want to make sure everything fits and works like it's supposed to. You got it? Yep. Cool. All right, let's try this other one. All right, so pulled this side off. Take a look at this. That's something we didn't know was there. So that's gonna have to be addressed. That's no good. It's busted, something's cracked. There's just some bad body work through here. Just a lot of cleaning up to do, but yeah, so let's go ahead and throw these other hinges on. We got brand new black ones. They look exactly the same. They're just gonna be a little bit cleaner, a little bit nicer. We'll paint those to match the body, but throw that on and test fit this panel and make sure everything's good, and then we'll throw that stuff up on the shelf because we won't need it for a while. All right, guys, so we have a slight issue. The new hinges won't work at all, so we had to go back to the old hinges, which is fine. That's just fine. There's nothing wrong with them. So I got the other ones because I just assumed. So it's actually, the way it's looking is on this custom bed build, they've put this bar across there, and it's actually this new gate. I think they bent the old gate to try to fit that, or this new one, so it hits in the middle real bad. So we're actually gonna have to cut that off, that bar they've put on, cut the wood, move that forward a ½ an inch, and then we'll see where we're at. So that's what we're gonna do now.
This whole back piece is full of Mondo.
All right, so we're actively cutting this stuff. Just want to stop in here and see, you guys can see what we're doing. So what we found was, I actually didn't see this at first, but if you look here, this is actually bulged out quite far. So that would be, you know, exactly why our stuff isn't lining up or fitting. So when they've cut this apart before, probably to put this bed in, you see this side is flush. And then here, if you look down, it's flush, but everywhere else it starts bowing out all the way down. So we're just gonna correct all this stuff right now. I'm gonna have Lou finish cutting this. These boards weren't straight, so that's the reason why they had this side bowed out, because they just cut the metal and bent it to fit around the wood instead of trimming the wood again, I imagine. But so we're gonna cut that wood straight along this line. See, it's not much to cut off here, but when you get down here, it starts getting thicker. But do that, and then that'll let us pull that piece of channel back, and then we'll re-weld it on the corners and across the bottom once we clean all that crap up and do a little something about that. But that's this is just the little stuff we got to do, guys. I mean, if we pulled this all apart and didn't even look at this stuff or pay no attention, we went to put it back together, it would have been a nightmare. We've been cutting and grinding and moving. So this is all the stuff you want to make sure works first before you ever get started on anything else. So that's what we're going to keep doing. I'll have Lou cut that. He'll be back with a Sawzall blade in a minute. And then I'm going to go ahead and start messing with these doors. They are somewhat, probably going to be a little bit of a nightmare. A lot of weld spatter in these windows. Might try to find some windows for this thing. We'll go ahead and start on these here in a minute. I think I'm gonna have to chip all this stuff away and kind of see what we're working with and why they came loose in the first place. So.
I guarantee there's a lot of bond on this truck.
Oh yeah. Alright guys, so we're going to tack this back on. Now, this isn't staying. We're just temporarily doing this because after working on this, we figured out that this panel is actually gone. So it's full of Bondo through here, real bad. You guys can see it. And then right here, you can actually see holes. So it's actually rotted so bad on the backside with Bondo over it that it's just gone. So this is gonna have to be fabricated. And if you look down here, you guys can kind of see it's the whole way, all the way down. So it's just rotted. So the best thing for us to do at this point is to not waste any more time on that panel and just address with the customer, hey, you know, that's not fixable. We can't save that. That needs an actual panel. We'll spend more time trying to rig it up, and then it still won't last, and that's not our style. So it's gonna need a new panel. So we'll just get 18 gauge, bend it up, you know, cut it to length, bend it up, put it in there, and be done with it. One quick little sheet, and won't have to worry about body working and a ton of Bondo and stuff. But right now, what we're gonna do is tack that back on, and then we're gonna try to fit our tailgate and everything back to our original can of worms that we opened. So we wanna make sure this tailgate's gonna fit, make sure we know where that needs to go. Then we'll cut that all back apart when we go to replace this before we proceed on, so. Whoa, guys. All right, so Lou's grinding it. We've got her tacked on both sides, but it's still bowing out in the middle. So we're gonna throw a tack there real quick, and then we'll get back to it. All right, we got it all tacked up. Now, like I said, just easy little tacks so we can cut this off easily, because this is gonna have to be replaced. But I think we're a lot closer. We're more flush here. Everything looks a lot better down there. So now we'll try to throw this tailgate on there and see what happens. Oh yeah, check this out. We got a few issues to fix. It's cute, ain't it? That's all right. It's just money, right? All right, guys, we've wasted up a half a day here now messing around with this. We've had to take it on and off about 4 or 5 times, tack the bracket on 4 or 5 times, but we've got it perfect. Except we've got this screw holding it right here in the center for now, because we're not really going to tack it. This is, like I said, has all got to come back off so we can replace that inner panel there. But for now, we did exactly what we wanted to do, and we got this tailgate shutting all the way perfectly without hitting anything anymore. So it goes all the way up and touches exactly where it's supposed to. If you look in here, you got a perfect gap all the way down the inside, and it's not hitting there. It's not going to rub the paint off the inside of the tailgate like it was the other ones. We'll call this a project completed. We'll go ahead and finish cleaning up here, put all of our tools away, and we'll move on to those doors. All right, onto the door, guys. Lou's going to strip this panel off real quick, pull the handles and stuff, and then we can see what's going on with these doors. This one is the better side of the two, but we figure we'll go ahead and adjust this one, fix this one, and then we'll move on over there to the worst side. All right, guys, so just in a couple minutes of messing with this door, we've been able to get the bottom tweaked out away so it's not touching anymore like it was rubbing the paint off. So now we've kind of got an idea. So this hinge is actually bent that way. So we just kind of slightly adjusted it just to see what it would happen. So probably this door is swung open at one time or another too hard, and it's bent that hinge. You can watch it kind of flex down there as I pull that. So that's a no-no. So we're gonna have to bend those back a little bit straighter, top one as well. But another thing we've seen already is, so the door's too high. So you watch right here, the door is not latched yet, and you can see it's rubbing. So as soon as it gets there, it starts rubbing, you push it in, the door drops down. So we got to do away with that. So right now, I do believe the only adjustment we've got is these Phillips screws. So we're going to pull them and just see if we can get the door itself to come down just a tish. Not sure if it's going to work or not, but we will see. All right, door's off. We're having some trouble getting the hinges loose. So this one came loose, no problem. The bottom one, not so much. So it's actually just shearing off, actually sheared off 2 snap-on screwdrivers. Trying to get those, but so it will probably take a little tinkering. May have to drill and tap those, I don't know yet. But for right now, that hinge is actually about where it needs to be. We might have to take a crescent wrench and just slightly tweak it. So this hinge may be able to stay. We'll worry about that in a minute. We'll take a crescent wrench, tweak that slightly, and then this one here needs brought down just a slight. So there's a little bit of adjustment here. We just to make sure it's at its lowest point so the door's not held up like that. If it's down here, it should clear up here. So that's what we're working on now. We'll probably close to being done, calling it a day here soon. So it's been a lot of work, a lot of crap, on and off with the doors, with the hinges, with the tailgates. So long day ahead tomorrow. We're gonna try to knock all this stuff out in about 2 or 3 days so we can actually get onto the project of the car, sanding it and doing all the stuff that needs to be done. Got Lou over there drilling out some broken bolts. I do believe we've got everything where it needs to be, but we've had that broken. They used a bolt in the bottom and then threaded it in here on the door. So that's what he's drilling out now so we can slide the new pins. We've got actual OEM style pins. So we'll slide that down in there, put the door on, slide them in, and then try to give it a shut and see what happens. I almost guarantee it's going to be better and closer than it was. So all we want is, you know, a nice, even, clean gap all the way around, and then not to be hitting and rubbing the paint off here or off the top of the door. So I guess you can kind of see it here. So we don't want that. We want to do away with that. All right, guys, we got the door back on. We got the new pins in. We left them up a little bit. Well, that one's down, but we can get it out. This one up. The mirror goes under there, but we've adjusted everything we can adjust. And so what we ended up having to do is to get this all to line up and fit, we had to, this hinge was bent this way. So we basically put a crescent wrench on the end of both of these and we bent them back while they were tight, and that pushed this door, with it shut, it pushed this door back. So now we've got a good solid gap. Now keep in mind, from the factory in 1947, they didn't give a crap about gaps. So we're doing the best we can with what we've got. So we're trying to level them out, even them out, and make them nice all the way around. So what we've got now is this, and it's pretty dang close, pretty close. So a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of grinding, and we still got to attach, when we pull the doors back off and actually do them, we will attach these better to the door itself, and we'll try to go over that and show that. But right now we've got perfect alignment here, so everything lines up and everything shuts good. So just a few minor adjustments, and now it just pops right open. It don't push, pull, it don't feel weird. It just shuts and everything perfect. So now we'll consider this side done, and that'll probably be about it for this vlog today, guys. We've been out here about 7 or 8 hours chugging along, so it's a full day. That's what we're gonna do, is vlog every day, everything we get done, what we're doing, how we do it, and then we'll upload it. So tomorrow the next day, we'll see you again. So just depends on how much content we can get in one day. If it has to go 2 days before we upload, then that's just the way it'll be. But I think today is a good start. We've kind of showed you guys the beginning steps of what we do before we even tear them apart. So tomorrow it'll be on to the exact same thing, but on the driver's side. We'll line that out, get that door ready, and then we'll know everything is ready to strip. Our tailgate fits. We've adjusted our hood latch. It all fits and shuts now. Passenger door good. Next is the driver door. So after that, then it's strip it apart, guys. Strip it apart and start sanding. Cut the windows out, front and rear. strip, you know, all the fenders off, the tailgate, the bed, the front fenders, this front grille. So everything will have to completely come stripped completely apart. So that's what we're doing. If you guys are learning anything, you like what you're seeing, you like our vlog, give us a like, hit that share button. Hopefully you guys can see this. Hopefully we're trying to get this done in about 45 work days. So it's going to be a stretch for 3 of us. It's just the 2 of us today. Our other guy is out, got a nail through his foot. So it's just going to be us for a few days till he's back. But we appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.